Hello, and welcome to another Friends of Cabrini Read Aloud featuring Frida, Kahlo. We hope you enjoyed this read aloud. The Blue House. Frida Kahlo was a world-famous painter from Mexico. She was born Magdalena Frida Carmen Kahlo y Calderon in 1907. She had three sisters. One of them, Cristina, was Frida's best friend for her entire life. The girls grew up in a pretty blue house that their father built in a neighborhood of Mexico City. Polio. When she was 6 years old, Frida felt pains in her right leg. Doctors discovered that she had polio, a disease that would keep her leg from growing properly. Frida tried to hide her leg under wide pants, long skirts, and tall socks. But bullies at school taunted her. They nicknamed her Peg Leg Frida. Luckily, Frida's family showered her with love. Her father was a photographer, and he taught Frida all about taking pictures. She learned to think like an artist at an early age. The accident. One September day in 1925, Frida was riding a bus home from school. The bus was hit by a streetcar, and Frida was badly hurt. She spent weeks in the hospital, then months in bed at home. While she was recovering, Frida began to paint. Most of the paintings were of herself. She had a mirror hung on her ceiling so she could see her own face. The message of pain. Frida used bold, cheerful colors in her paintings. But her pictures were not happy ones. Frida was hurting. A lot from her accident, and she showed it by painting herself with tears, blood, and broken bones. My painting contains in it the message of pain, she said. Painting helped Frida find relief from her suffering. Finally, she began to feel joy again. The Dove and the Elephant. Frida worked up the courage to show a well-known Mexican artist named Diego Rivera some of her paintings. Diego impressed. He told Frida to keep painting and began visiting her to see her work. Soon, the two artists fell in love. Frida was a tiny woman. Diego was a big man. When Frida told her parents that she was going to marry him, they declared it's the wedding of a dove and an elephant. Far from home. Frida and Diego got married in 1929. The next year, Diego was invited to paint some outdoor paintings called frescoes in the United States. Frida and Diego moved to San Francisco, then to Detroit, and at last to New York City. Diego liked America, but Frida missed Mexico. She started painting lush pictures of her country. She was very glad to go back. Success. Back in Mexico, Frida welcomed important people into her home. One of them was Leon Trotsky, a Russian politician. Another was André Breton, a French writer. André called Frida's paintings surrealist. Surrealist art mixed together dreams and ordinary life. Frida did not care much for the name. I never knew I was a surrealist until André Breton came to Mexico and told me I was, she said. I myself still don't know what I am. André helped set up an exhibition for Frida in New York. She sold more than half of her paintings. Frida was becoming a big success. Frida and the Fritos. Frida began teaching at the Ministry of Education in Mexico City. She called her students the Fritos. She took them through the city streets and around the countryside so they could capture Mexico's beauty and spirit. Frida loved her work, but her health was failing. Soon, she couldn't walk, so Frida invited the Fritos to her home. They painted in her lovely garden. Final exhibition. In 1953, an exhibition honoring Frida's work was put together in Mexico. Frida wanted to go, but how? By now, she was very ill and weak. She had undergone several serious operations, and she was stuck in bed most of the time. Then, Frida got an idea. She would go to the exhibition in bed. She dressed up in fancy clothes and decorated her bed, too. It was a clever way to enjoy the celebration. Viva La Vida. Frida painted her last piece of art in 1954. It showed juicy watermelons with Viva La Vida painted on one in bright red letters. The words mean long live life. Even though she spent much of her life in pain, Frida was determined to enjoy it, right until the end. Frida died on July 13, 1954, but her fame kept on growing. Today, people everywhere know and admire her work. She is called one of the most important artists of her time. Thank you for watching this read aloud on Frida Kahlo.